Hey everybody, it's Sam from Wrestling Overtime, and this is going to be kind of a special topics um, episode. I was going to do it along with news and updates. If you guys listen to that podcast or episode right before this one, then you know that. You know that I was planning on kind of doing a two-part where I gave you all of the news and updates and my opinion on the Dark Side of the Ring's Chris Benoit documentary. And then I was going to talk about WrestleMania 36. However, I didn't want to make it too long. I wanted to be able you guys to listen to it on your commute or on your lunch hour or while you're chasing the kids around at home or whatever. So what I decided to do is just kind of break them up into two completely different episodes. If you are listening to this and you don't want to know anything about WrestleMania 36 besides what WWE has told you on Raw and SmackDown, you have been avoiding Twitter. You have been avoiding Facebook. You have been avoiding the dirt sheets. You have went on no internet message boards such as Reddit or anything. Then you need to turn this episode off, because it is going to tell you some stuff that you haven't heard or don't want to know. For those of you who do follow all of that, this may not be new information to you. But we're going to talk about what we know. I am going to give no WrestleMania results. None. I am not going to spoil any of the matches. I know that most of us want to watch WrestleMania and rant and rave about it on its own merits and not because someone told us, a week ahead of time. I have a lot of my thoughts and opinions already about these matches. I don't need people to tell me that Nikita Khrushchev came in and won the championship at 100 years old. I don't need to know that, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the people that are missing. We're going to talk about the card changes, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I think about the card changes and talk about what I want to see and who I want to see to win. And so, like I said, if you don't want to hear any of that, you need to go ahead and turn this episode off. Otherwise, let's talk about it. And I want to hear from you. If you disagree with me or you've heard anything, that's the big thing. If you've heard any scuttlebutt, rumors, or as Bruce Pritchard says, innuendo, I want to know. Write me at wrestlingovertime@gmail.com or hit me up on Wrestling Overtime's Facebook page or Twitter page. You guys can DM me or whatever. I want to know what's going on. If you disagree with me on any of the matches or anything, then I definitely want to know. I want to hear your opinions, because you may actually change my opinion. So let's kind of go over this. This all started basically at the beginning of last week. We started out hearing that Dana Brooke was not going to be part of the 6-woman match that Paige had announced, not this past Friday, but the Friday before last, and that it was due to her not feeling well and that she was going to be quarantined. It is my understanding she has been tested but has not gotten the results back, but is quarantined in a hotel. After we found out about Dana Brooks, then we heard about Rey Mysterio. I believe that was probably Tuesday, Wednesday, because that then changed WWE's thoughts on having an Andrade Rey Mysterio WrestleMania match, is my understanding. It was going to be for the U.S. Championship, but like I said, Rey decided then that he was not feeling good. And it is my understanding from the different sites that I've read that Rey Mysterio is also quarantining. Then it was, I don't know, probably about 2:30 on Thursday. I guess that would have been March 22nd. Pro Wrestling Sheet broke the news that Roman Reigns decided to pull out of WrestleMania. It was their understanding that he decided he did not want to have the match with Goldberg, that he wanted the match postponed, that he had been directed by his doctor due to him having leukemia and a compromised immune system, that he just felt like he could not take part in this. Now, soon thereafter, a lot of other news outlets, dirt sheets, message boards, everything lit up and was trying to get extra information or was second guessing things. I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't know that I believe this. I get the feeling this may be a swerve. Now, I can be totally wrong. Okay? I'm willing to admit that I may be totally wrong. Because I have been before. But it does not make sense that they were filming Wednesday and Thursday, and that all of a sudden Pro Wrestling Sheet broke this news on Thursday at 2:30 when they were not finished filming, that Roman Reigns was out. Yet on Friday night's SmackDown, so they had a whole 24 to 38 hours to change Friday Night SmackDown. They did not. They plugged Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. They even showed the Roman Reigns Triple H WrestleMania match and had Triple H kind of do a breakdown of it and of Roman Reigns. And it is my understanding that WWE has no intentions of changing their website and still have not changed it. And I am recording this late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. It is scheduled for this coming Friday, which would be April the 3rd, the night before WrestleMania, that Roman Reigns was there and will be doing a promo in the ring with Goldberg promoting that WrestleMania match, and that they have not changed that. Roman Reigns has taken part on this all through this pandemic. So it's really unusual for me to believe that he is pulling out. So either Pro Wrestling Sheet is totally right. Everybody else ran with it. Roman Reigns is out, and they have replaced him with Braun Strowman, which we'll get to in a little bit. And that Roman Reigns has no intentions to take part in WrestleMania. Or WWE has leaked false information and Roman Reigns is going to take on Goldberg and they are going to make him the champion. And it's going to be kind of the ultimate swerve. I can see WWE doing that. Dave Metzler has stated a couple times not to believe every single rumor you're hearing because WWE is leaking wrong information on purpose in order for people not to get spoilers correct. And they have filmed different endings for different matches so Vince McMahon can actually decide who he wants to win basically at the last minute. And so that there will not be a lot of spoilers. So I will caution you. However, I go back and forth. So many people have heard this leak. I do wonder if Roman Reigns has decided to pull out. It would make sense with his leukemia. So, we'll see. It is also my understanding that Buddy Murphy, who I questioned in the Raves and Rants review for WWE Raw, why he was not out with Seth Rollins when he did cut the awesome promo against Kevin Owens, why he was not there. Well, it has now been revealed that Buddy Murphy is sick and he is quarantined. It is also been reported that Miz is out. It is unknown whether he is feeling sick or if he did not want to and take the chance of getting the coronavirus when he has 2 kids under 3, and one of which is basically a newborn infant and does not want to take that chance. Plus, Maurice's mother, Marjo, lives with them, who is older, and I believe Mrs. Mother is also there helping take care of the newborn. So I can see Miz actually being the family guy that he is, saying, hey, I gotta pull out, I can't take this chance, and I'm not traveling there, and then I would also, when I come back, need to quarantine for 14 days before I can see my kids, and I'm not doing it. So Miz is out, and it's unknown whether it's due because he is sick or just because he's taking precautions. Andrade is out. He is out due to a hit that he took in the match where he teamed up with Garza and they took on Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. It is said that there was a move that Ricochet did and that he has some fractured ribs. And so he is not medically cleared to take part in WrestleMania. It's not because he is sick, though. So let's go through each match. There are 16 matches scheduled from what we know right now. and we're going to talk about each match, any changes that were made, and like I said, kind of what I want to see happen, but maybe what I think's going to happen, and then maybe what should happen or whatever. The first one that I want to talk about is Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Now, this one was made at the last minute. It was kind of thrown out there on Monday Night Raw this past week, which I guess would have been the 23rd, March 23rd. It was almost casually mentioned as Aleister Black took care of Leon Ruff in about 2 minutes flat that he was taking on Bobby Lashley. Now, I'm going to go ahead and prepare you guys. There is a rumor, however, that Bobby Lashley has been pulled from this match. He just got off a South African tour. He was sent over there by the WWE. Lana was doing a movie and was not available to escort him or valet him or be his manager, whatever you want to call her. And so they decided to send him on a goodwill tour and do meet and greets and publicity and like news interviews and everything over in South Africa. Bobby Lashley just arrived back, I guess earlier this week, and it is my understanding that when he came back, he was told to self-quarantine for 14 days. However, they did announce this match. Like I said, Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. It is unknown. I can't find it anywhere where anyone says that this match was actually taped, though. A lot of them, they're saying, yes, they were taped. They're not giving you who won or anything about the match, but they're saying, yes, it was taped. I can't find anywhere where anyone is saying that this match was actually taped. I'm wondering if they put a substitute in for Bobby Lashley due to that South African tour. However, I think no matter who they put in that particular match, I think Aleister Black still wins. They are building him up to be a monster, for the Black Mass to be basically an absolutely ending move, a killer move, and so I cannot see them ruining that and all of the build-up it's taken and everything. I said on the Raves and Rants review for WWE Raw that I hope this match takes 2 minutes if it's against Lashley. I don't want to see Lashley on my TV. I could care less about him. And I just want to see Black destroy him. That pretty much goes for anybody they stick in this match. I want them to keep Aleister Black strong. I think they will. I think that, he's pretty durable, and they know that from him being in NXT. And I think his wife, Zelina Vega, is riding a rocket ship with Andrade and Angel Garcia. And I think this couple, Vince McMahon, sees a lot in. So I look for Aleister Black, no matter who he takes on, to actually win. I just hope that they give us a good match. Then they added this match, also pretty late in the card. Alexa Bliss has been kind of talking about this match for a while, not only on TV but on social media, about how her and Nikki Cross want to take on the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team championships. So they did add this match. So Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross will be taking on the Kabuki Warriors. I do not see this being a long match at all. The only way that I can see any kind of shenanigans going on would be if Asuka would hit somebody in the face with green mist and then get disqualified, but they would still keep the belts. I look for the Kabuki Warriors to continue keeping these belts. I think Asuka is on a roll. I think this new evil green mist dancing machine that is yelling in Japanese, grunting, and was on the commentary desk is getting over. I think WWE loves her right now, and so I can't see them taking the belts off the Kabuki Warriors anytime soon, because I think they want a belt on Asuka, and right now they're not willing to give her either the Raw or SmackDown belt. So I look for them to continue with the tag team championships. Then we've got Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Again, this is a late match that they added. Everybody has been calling this match, I don't know, for about a month now, that this was going to be on WrestleMania. Yet they kept waiting and waiting and waiting to add it. So, not sure what the issue was. Supposedly, Otis is going to bring Tucker down to the ring with him, and Dolph Ziggler will be bringing Mandy Rose. I think Dolph Ziggler gets the win. I know everybody says that Otis needs to get his comeuppance. He needs to have the win. Mandy needs to see him for the sweetheart that he is. I don't think that happens. I really don't. I think Mandy likes being a bad girl. I definitely think that Dolph Ziggler likes being a bad boy. With no fans being there to really cheer and give Otis the pop that he deserves and his WrestleMania moment, I don't think they give it to him. I think Dolph Ziggler wins. I think there will be some shenanigans. I think Tucker and Mandy Rose will get into it. But I do think that it is a very good possibility that Mandy Rose somehow distracts Otis and gives Dolph Ziggler the win, and this program continues until we can get an audience, and then Otis will get his comeuppance with all of the fan support behind him. Elias Baron Corbin. I don't even know why this match was made. There's no storyline of this. It's kind of ridiculous. I know they see Baron Corbin as a huge heel in the company. They think a lot of him. He's had a great, last 6 months or so. But for him to be in a blow-off match, basically with Elias, who they thought would come back to tremendous pops. But he came back and there was no change in his character, and I feel like his character's just kind of stalled. I am not interested in this match whatsoever. And I'm going to be real honest, I'm not picking a winner because I could care less who even wins. I will watch this match for you and review it and do some rants and raves on it. I hope it's a good match and it holds my interest, but I'm telling you right now, I could care less about it. Then we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Championship, and it's the first time the NXT Championship has been on WrestleMania. I have talked about this match for the last couple episodes. Rhea Ripley really intrigued me. I did not know a whole lot about her. I have since read up on her. I did not realize how young she was. And how she spent a very short time in NXT UK before coming to the States. She is more polished for her age. I think she's like 23 or 24. She is extremely athletic and is the perfect foil for Charlotte Flair. because she can go toe to toe with her. She is tall enough and big enough, muscular enough to give Charlotte Flair some problems. I was shocked that they agreed to do this. I don't see Charlotte Flair wanting the NXT title. I don't see her going down to NXT to have a title reign and take on people. So I don't see her winning this. The couple times that she went down to NXT, they did not receive a bump like they expected. I think had they received a bump and gotten close to AEW on Wednesday nights with Charlotte Flair down there, I think they would have had her win. But the way the crowd reacted when Rhea Ripley beat Shayna Baszler, I think opened WWE's eyes. And I would not be surprised if someone interferes like Bianca Belair. Or if we see Ronda Rousey. But I think Rhea Ripley keeps this championship. And I know that's against what a lot of people are picking. But I do. Rhea Ripley impressed me when she came to Raw. And Charlotte came out, gave her a golf clap, and Rhea Ripley utterly destroyed Sarah Logan without breaking eye contact with Charlotte. And that's when I knew I liked her. I am going to be a fan of hers. And I can't help it. I am picking her for this match. Now, it is my understanding that the ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles has totally been reworked because of Miz not traveling. It's my understanding that it was going to be the Usos versus New Day versus Miz and Morrison. The Miz is out. However, they did not want them to defend the tag team championship. So it is my understanding that this match has now changed the rules, and it will be one Uso against Morrison in a ladder match for the tag team titles. It was supposed to be one New Day member, one Uso, and Morrison, and they were going to do a ladder match for their team to see who wins the titles. But for some reason that I have not been able to find and can't think of, unless one of them is sick or refusing to travel, the New Day was not in this match. It is my understanding it is one Uso, and I don't know whether it was Jimmy or Jay, is against Morrison in this match. I'm going to be real honest with you. I believe with Morrison just making his debut and Miz and Morrison having the dirt sheet, they are getting a lot of heat from the fans at the time. They still are on the internet and everything. I look for Morrison to keep this. I think that he does Starship Pain somehow off of a ladder and wins this. Then the next match also got changed. It was supposed to be the Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade with Zelina Vega. Again, you had me shouting when they announced this match, why? There's no storyline on this. I don't get it. I don't, number one, understand why they took the belts off of Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, other than they wanted Seth Rollins in a battle with Kevin Owens after Samoa Joe got hurt. I think the whole storyline all along was for Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy to be the tag team champions, and Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens were going to take them on in WrestleMania and win those belts. When Samoa Joe got caught with the wellness policy and then got a concussion on a commercial shoot and was hurt, from everything I understand, that's when it got changed. They decided that they had been building up the Street Profits and that they would drop the belts to the Street Profits. However, the Street Profits have did nothing with the belts. So it was my understanding that they put them in this match and they were going to drop the belts. However, Andrade, like I said, has a rib injury. So he has been replaced in this match by Austin Theory from NXT. Austin Theory, WWE, has been drooling over him. They wanted to sign him so bad they couldn't see straight. He has been setting the world on fire and impressing Triple H and Shawn Michaels at NXT with his work ethic and his matches. And he has been putting on some hellacious matches. So they gave him a break. And he is being partnered with Angel Garza against the Street Profits. I don't think they beat the Street Profits. I don't think that, even though WWE Creative wants those belts off of the Street Profits, I don't think they give them to Garza and Theory just yet. Austin Theory is 21 years old. Garza is new to the main roster. Neither one of them are experienced enough and have been through the ringer and have traveled the live show circuit and have really did the type of interviews and went through the training that NXT provides to do interviews and be a champion. I just can't see them giving them the belts. But I'm going to be honest with you. I want them to win the belts. I want Garza and Austin Theory to win the belts. And I hope Zelina Vega plays a part in it and somehow, some way distracts them and Garza and Austin Theory do win the belts. Next match, Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Tamina versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. Again, Dana Brooks was pulled from this match. I think all along, Bayley was supposed to be taking on either Sasha or Lacey Evans. I have no clue why Tamina's in this match. None. However, I think they had to add Naomi because when Naomi came back, she is a huge fan favorite. And they needed a true babyface in this match. Lacey Evans has came back as a babyface, and she's been getting somewhat over, but people haven't forgotten a lot of her snarky comments that she has made, so she's not really a true babyface. And with Bayley and Sasha both being heels, and Tamina being a heel, I think this whole thing is craziness. I'm telling you right now, I think Bayley and Sasha Banks do square off in the ring at some point with the others laying around. I think there's gonna be a lot of laying around, either inside the ring or outside the ring. There's gonna be a lot of people thrown into the steps or into the barrier or whatever, and they're gonna be laying around. But I think this is where they bring Nia Jax back. And I think she interferes and there is a disqualification made somehow, some way, and I think Bayley retains the title. However, I think this starts the battle of Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I am hoping that this is what turns Bayley back into a babyface. But what I am calling now is Bayley will retain and Nia Jax will interfere. The Intercontinental title. They made Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan, and Drew Gulak is going to be his coach. I think Daniel Bryan wins this. And then I think Drew Gulak turns on him. But I don't see them leaving this belt on Sami Zayn. I think they like him as a manager. I think they like him as a mouthpiece. And I don't know. I think they just like Daniel Bryan with a belt. Then we have Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. And I'm telling you guys, I'm looking forward to this one. ESPN, Ari, I can't think of his last name. It went out of my head, and of course I didn't write it down. He is the UFC commentator. Anyway, he is on ESPN. He interviewed Becky. It is up on their site. Becky did, I don't know whether she meant to or she slipped. She said that she thinks this will be Saturday night. So that is the only match that we even have an inkling on whether they're going to be Saturday or Sunday. WWE hasn't announced that yet. But Becky said that she believed, he asked, do you know when your match is? And she said, yeah, she was pretty certain that it was going to be shown on Saturday night. So hopefully this is going to be a first night match. And if you watch the video, you can tell Becky is banged up. Her cheek looks swollen. And when I stopped, I paused it, you can see the makeup really around her eye where she didn't blend it all the way and everything. I think that she probably had a bruise somewhere on that cheek, maybe even under her eye and stuff. So I think Shayna popped her. Everybody is saying that they think Shayna will win this match because they have been booking her as such a big deal. I am torn. I really am. I like the intensity that Becky has been showing. She has reminded me of how she was with Ronda Rousey. I think if Nia Jax does not interfere in the Bayley match, I think she interferes here. And I think her and Shayna get into it with Becky retaining. If Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey does not interfere in this, I think Shayna Baszler wins. So what I am predicting is if there are shenanigans, if somebody interferes, Becky will retain. However, if there is no interference, I think Shayna takes it. The Undertaker AJ Styles in a boneyard match. I was not interested in this a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. When they got into it in Saudi Arabia, I was just like, I don't want to see this. AJ's the younger guy. Undertaker is old. He can't keep up with AJ. I don't want to see this. But when AJ Styles started calling out Michelle McCool and saying she was basically the puppet master of The Undertaker, and she was using him to get money, and then he made it a boneyard match, and I was just like, what is a boneyard match? Well, AJ explained that in an interview, and they did not want to call it a graveyard match or a cemetery match or anything like that because of the pandemic. So basically, they are doing a no holds bar match in a cemetery, and it is shot in a cemetery, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the Undertaker to be able to do tricks, and he's gonna win because of that. He's going to be able to hit AJ not only with his own tombstone, but he's going to be able to pick up tombstones and hit him or run him into tombstones. He's going to be able to throw dirt on him and get muddy and dirty. He's going to be able to shove him into holes. He's gonna be able to possibly raise the dead to help him or whatever. But I look for this to be a good cinematic match. They've had time to edit it. They've had time to really produce it. And these are two good wrestlers. I think it turns out to be a really good match, but I think The Undertaker actually wins. Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. I have been raving about this match now for over a month. How I can't wait to see it. However, I have heard Edge is out. I have not been able to confirm that. But I have heard that Edge is out. But then Ryan Satin reported yesterday that Edge versus Randy Orton was taped. And again, not revealing anything about it. I want to see this match. I said on an episode, I know why they made this match. I don't like last standing matches. I think they're boring. But I know why they made it. Edge is afraid that he's got ring rust. He's afraid he's going to blow up. So it gives him time as they're going around the Performance Center to different places to rest. If his move set is not exactly right, it allows them to use weapons. A lot of different tricks and spots that they can do to help Edge out until he gets back ring ready. So I understand why they did this. I look for this to be an excellent match. They're two veterans. They've worked together for years. But I know everybody wants Edge to get his comeuppance for Beth Phoenix, for everything. However, I think Randy Orton wins. And I know all of you are saying, it's only because you like Randy Orton. Right. But I think Randy Orton wins. Then we have John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. And they announced this is going to be a Firefly Funhouse match. And yes, I have to say that slow because the thing is if I don't, then it runs together and I start stuttering and all of that. Man, oh man. I want to say that The Fiend wins this match. I really do. I think if he still had the belt, I think he definitely wins this match. However, I don't think Vince gets The Fiend. And I think that was shown when The Fiend lost the belt to Goldberg. He didn't get Broken Matt Hardy. I don't think he gets The Fiend. I think John Cena agreed to come back. And with this being, everybody has said that this match was shot movie style. And that it's going to be kind of like the Randy Orton House of Horrors type thing. I think Mercy gets involved, Ramblin' Rabbit, Abby the Witch. I think all of them get involved. But I think they're going to tell this story as a John Cena is going to beat all the odds, overcome everything. Good is going to overcome evil, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing on the line other than The Fiend's career, basically. I think when it comes down to it, I think Vince McMahon wants John Cena to win. So unless John Cena up and said, no, I came back to put over younger talent and to help them make their way in the WWE, I think John Cena wins. And I know that is not what the WWE Universe wants. But I think that's what Vince McMahon wants. So unless John Cena fought for him, I don't think Bray Wyatt wins. I think they do a feel-good movie-type match where good overcomes evil. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Can you believe this all started back in November of 2019? This has been going on for about 6 months. And it has been mediocre storytelling. They have had 8-man tags, 6-man tags. They've had regular tags. They have just been awful. After seeing Raw, though, the last 2 weeks, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins has turned out to be great. All they needed to do was get all the other people away. Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens is awesome. They're both great on the mic. They can tell a story. They're great in the ring. They look like teetotal opposites. Murphy cannot be there. I just think this can be a show stealer. I think Kevin Owens is upset. He was left off the WrestleMania card last year. I think he wants to make a show. And I think this turns into one heck of a match. And I think Samoa Joe makes an appearance. And because Samoa Joe gets involved, because he is now off his wellness policy violation, and supposedly he's been medically cleared. So I look for Kevin Owens to win this. What does that do to the Monday Night Messiah, though? I think he goes double hard into punishing them. and making them pay for their sins of doing wrong and making them repent, and comes up with some way of torturing them. But I am picking Kevin Owens in this match. And then we have the 2 championship matches. We have Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. I want to see Drew McIntyre win. I want that belt on someone that's going to defend it, in house shows. I want somebody that's going to defend it at least once a month in something other than a pay-per-view. I want him to be able to bring the belt on TV and cut promos. Brock Lesnar is not willing to do that. So I want Drew McIntyre. I have liked Drew McIntyre since he come back. I like the Claymore. I don't think the F5 is that big of a deal. So I think should bother Drew McIntyre. However, again, Vince McMahon has a way of getting cold feet at WrestleMania when it comes to Brock Lesnar. He knows he's over. He knows he brings ratings. He knows that he can carry WWE on his back even on a part-time basis. From what I understand, this match was shot both ways. I want Drew McIntyre to win. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is a game time decision on which match they show, on who wins. I think as of right now, Drew McIntyre is winning. But come Saturday or Sunday night, I think Vince may change it and Brock Lesnar may keep the title. But like I said, I hope Drew McIntyre wins it. The last match has, I think, become the hardest to pick. I think the Universal Championship, with it being Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, I think everybody said it was an absolute no-brainer that Vince Roman Reigns back with the title. I think everything that everybody says makes sense, as far as they did not want Roman Reigns beating The Fiend at WrestleMania. They knew he would get booed, and that The Fiend was becoming a fan favorite. And I think that he had The Fiend drop the title to Goldberg in order to give it to Roman Reigns. However, Roman Reigns has now pulled out of WrestleMania. And we talked about that, how that may be a swerve, and he may actually be in WrestleMania. If he is, I think Roman Reigns wins. However, everyone is reporting that Roman Reigns has pulled out of WrestleMania and has been replaced by Braun Strowman. If so, I believe Goldberg wins. I do not think, number one, anyone in creative or Vince McMahon believes that Braun Strowman can carry and be the face of the WWE yet. Every time they think he's ready and they get him ready, he screws up backstage, he screws up in an interview, he's late for meetings or something. there is an immaturity about him is the scuttlebutt, and that he cannot act professionally. Due to that, I don't think they can give him the title and make him the face of the WWE. So, I think Bill Goldberg wins, and they threw a bunch of money at him, and he stays until the next pay-per-view or the pay-per-view after, where Roman Reigns can beat him, so that Roman Reigns still ends up with the title. So that's my pick. If it is Braun Strowman against Goldberg, I think Goldberg wins. If it is Goldberg versus Roman Reigns, I think Roman Reigns wins. So that is the 16 matches that we have so far, with all of the changes, with people dropping out, with them changing matches like the ladder match they changed, with them adding matches such as Elias versus Baron Corbin, and all of that. Am I right with my predictions and what I want to happen? No. I'm not going 15-0. Yeah, I know that I said there were 16 matches, but remember, I don't care about Elias and Baron Corbin, and so I didn't pick anybody. I could care less. So, am I going to go 15-0? No. I know I'm not. I just don't know the WWE that well. I don't know Vince McMahon that well. I could pick all the favorites, but I'm hoping that there's some swerves in there, especially with some of these gimmick matches. And I am calling for some people to show up, like Samoa Joe, like Nia Jax. They're ready. They've been medically cleared. We've been waiting a month for them to show up. I think they show up at WrestleMania. If they don't show up, then of course my predictions are not coming true. So, that's how I see it. I want you to tell me how you see it. I know you don't have a podcast, but you can write me at wrestlingovertime@gmail.com. Come on Wrestling Overtime's Facebook page or on Wrestling Overtime's Twitter page and tell me who you want to win each match and why. I want to know. Tell me why. I want to do a show, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday with you guys' views. So, you guys gotta write me and let me know. Tell me who you think is gonna win and why. I want to see if you're right. But, I will talk to all of you guys pretty soon. Don't forget to leave a review and a rating at podchaser.com. I know that a lot of you are listening on Apple. However, not everybody does, and not everybody can see the Apple ratings and reviews. Anybody can see them on podchaser.com. If you're listening on a catcher like Pocket Cast, which is what I usually use, they obviously do not have ratings or reviews. So where I leave mine is on podchaser.com. So feel free to hit me up. Don't forget to review us, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.